Welcome to Aesthetic Ambition. This is a podcast that explores people, systems, and the thinking shaping the future of health and performance and of modern day business. I'm your host, Amanda Azzopardi, and my background is clinical. I'm an advanced nurse. I became increasingly interested in not just treatments and treatment outcomes, but decision making and operational structures and how businesses allow scale effectively and particularly in complex and fast moving industries like healthcare. So alongside that, I now work with founders through Azzopardi Automation. So I help identify where growth is constrained and where revenue is being lost across different systems and implementing AI and automation support and sustainable growth. So today I'm joined by Thomas, the founder of Nementum. And this is a platform that focuses on helping founders think, learn, and execute more effectively using AI. Thomas, welcome to Aesthetic Ambition. I'm really glad to have you on the show. So, I'd really love to start with the foundation for listeners who may not yet be familiar with Nementum. What is it today, and what's the problem that you saw that others weren't addressing when you started building it?
Well, first of all, thank you very much for having me here. Nementum
Okay.
started itself when I realized the big issue that most of self-help apps were having, where they were all just very general and they were all trying to go to a broader public, lacking a lot of the personalization, generally lacking what humans are generally meant to do, which is work in our purpose. Once I saw that big issue that there's no real self-help tools going on, and also I was trying to search for my own purpose as well. I came to the conclusion that we can apply AI to help us structure our days, but not only structure our days, but also give us a sense of direction into what we really want to do in life. Especially now that there's so many jobs that are being replaced by AI and so many things that are quickly going to be erased. I think that right now we have the beautiful blessing of working into what we truly want to work, thanks to the freedom that AI gives us. But first, we need to break through all systems, and we don't really have time for that. So we just need to find the quickest way to discover what we really want to do in life. And that's how Nementum was born. An AI that learns about your personality and helps you discover your life purpose.
Yeah, I think we're living in such an exciting time where I think time is really our biggest commodity. And once you realize that, and once you realize how you can work through and save so much time using AI, you can really accelerate whatever it is that you want to achieve. And I think we used to think we had to work in something that we loved and we were passionate about. But with AI, it opens the world to us, doesn't it?
I
Very
mean,
quickly.
not only it opens the world, which it really does, it just deletes all the limitations that we might have in the past. Like, for example, now if you want
Mm,
to build an app, before you would need to first you would need to raise $150,000 to build an MVP, and then you have to hire people, and there were so much blockages in the past. And now
mm,
the barrier to entry to everything that is software related, everything that is even art related, it's all just falling away thanks to the beautiful technology that we have. Which also in a way is scary for most people because there's a lot of people that depends and relies on these sort of jobs that before there were no chance of being automated, and now we do have the chance.
yeah, absolutely. So I guess from your perspective, what were founders getting wrong at the time when you decided to build this app? What is it? What's the message that you want to get across with it?
I think that what founders mostly gets wrong is they are too afraid, and that's a pattern that I even realized in myself, and I became aware of it. Is that
Mhm.
nowadays nothing truly really matters when it comes to what you try to do. Like if you do something wrong, it doesn't really matter. Like as you said it very well in the beginning, people are very time sensitive, so they are always scrolling or things just pass. So not being afraid of trying new things, not being afraid of putting things out there. It doesn't have to be perfect. Just put it out there, however it is, and move on with it until
Mm.
you find the thing that actually works.
Yeah, absolutely. I feel like now, like we used to have a lack of access to information. Now we have access to all the information, but more a lack of clarity and execution with it. I think fear drives a lot of fear holds a lot of things back and a lot of people back. It's one of the biggest emotions, I believe, that creates stagnant fear keeps people stagnant. And I think using AI is one of the biggest shifts we're seeing right now. The speed at which founders can operate and remove that fear.
Absolutely, absolutely. I don't necessarily see fear as a bad thing, but more as an indicator. Where where is the work that you actually have to do? Like, why are you afraid of something? Why are you afraid of getting it wrong? Why are you afraid? Why do you need control? So actually, I believe that fear is a good thing because it shows you where do you have to work on. And in a way, AI kind of like puts you the pressure as well because now it's like you have no excuse. Like you can just execute right away. You can just like get things done. So it's all a matter of you now. And I love how it's putting everyone into this edge of like figuring out, why are you not moving? Why are you not doing things?
Yeah. It's taking away people's jobs, but making people not be lazy as well, because
Exactly.
there's that challenge there. How do you see AI? I mean, that's one example of it, but how do you see AI further changing the way people learn or make decisions or even execute business decisions?
I think that now people don't even have to learn. I think that now people can just execute, right? And I see learning kind of like a blockage, right? It's like, oh, wait,
Mhm.
hold on. Before I do something, let me just read this book. And then you can just learn and learn and learn because there's infinite amount of information. So
Mhm.
now AI, what it really does is exactly that you don't even have to learn because there's a robot that knows absolutely everything that you can ask him. So you can just move forward. And if you have any questions, you can just ask him. But it's always about keeping executing, not just staying stagnant learning. What
Mhm.
we do
Yeah.
have to learn, though, it's 100%. How can we generally implement AI in our life in a way that not only makes our work easier, but how it also can make our life easier? We have so
Mm.
many things in our life that takes us so much time. Like I don't know, like deciding today what I'm gonna cook for today, that takes me ages, right? Or deciding where I'm gonna get to work, or like so many things that they can just be removed completely and they can just give me more time to do the things that I really want to do. So I think that we need to apply AI not just only when it comes to work and but also learn how to use it in our daily life as a daily tool. That's why
Mm.
Nementum is also so powerful because it just organizes your day, structures everything, and just removes all the noise, all the unnecessary lifting.
Yeah.
Um,
I th
I do believe also that it's very important to think where AI is going in the future, 100%. So approach that once you get that information of where AI is going in the future,
Mhm.
approach that knowledge as a builder and not as someone that is afraid of it. Like think about,
Yeah.
see where it's going and start building towards it.
Yeah. Do you think do you think it's going to replace a lot of skill sets like trades and things like that? Do you think AI is actually improving thinking or just accelerating the action without necessarily improving that quality?
I do believe that it's also improving the thinking as well. And I do believe that ultimately the goal is to have it in a way that thinks and just is able to perceive multiple scenarios at once, right? So it's a imagine AI powered by quantum computing.
Mhm.
That's the ultimate goal, right? So having an AI that just analyzes infinite scenarios and brings you to the best one out of all the infinite possibilities. So I do believe that at some point AI is going to get to just incredible amount of thinking, but something that is never going to have is creativity.
Mm. I feel like I have seen it like double the speed at which it's grown in the last 3 to 6 months. It's moving very rapidly. at the moment. Something I see quite often is businesses trying to automate absolutely everything. But I think there's behavior, discipline, consistency, and there still seems to be some big constraints. Where do you think the line between what should be systemized is and what still comes down to the individual?
I do believe that what needs to be systemized is everything that takes time, everything that just it's annoying. Reaching out to clients, for example, that's something that's annoying and it takes time, and
Hmm.
it doesn't even bring that many results. Let's say that luckily on a good day you would have out of 100 messages that you send, you're gonna get 10 replies. Luckily, that can totally be automated and it should be automated. Everything that takes time and it's just annoying. That's the part that needs to be totally removed. 100%. But then generally connecting with people, generally when it comes to designing product, generally when it comes to thinking about ways of distribution, because AI at the moment, for example, is not great at handling social media, then that can be handled and it should be handled by humans, as it also
Hmm.
requires a high degree of creativity. But everything that is just heavy lifting and just annoying work, coding, all of the heavy lifting should be automated.
Mm. If you're currently building a subscription-based product with Nementum. What have you learned about what actually drives retention beyond someone just signing up? What makes people stay?
Essentially, it's putting it into the right faces, like sharing
Hmm.
it to the right people. There's 8 billion people in this world. So essentially, there's gonna be people that you can do anything, right? You can just paint a hammer of a different color, and then someone's suddenly going to love that hammer. So it's not a matter of changing product or just trying to reach perfection with the product itself. It's more of a matter of having something that works, gets whatever you want to do properly done, putting it and sharing it to the right people that actually need it. As I said,
Yeah,
8 billion people in this world, someone is going to love whatever you do.
yeah. And do they stay as long-term customers for you?
Essentially, yes. From the very few metrics that we have at the moment, once we were able to identify who is our right target, they were 100% able to stay in the app, and not only that, but they are able to socialize between them. They are able to um, expand into their own projects inside of the app as well because of the lag purpose that they were able to figure out thanks to Nementum.
Mm,
So essentially, once we were able to spot who this app is really for,
mhm.
then these people were just staying in it out of love and comfort.
Delve a little bit deeper into the app for me. Tell me, if I was a consumer, what would it be achieving for me? What would I be searching for? What would I be learning?
You would learn essentially about yourself. You
Okay.
would learn what are your deep patterns into what do you do. Why is it that you do what you do? We are mostly driven by our fears. We're driven by our ego. But in reality, there are so many things that we just wish that we would do
Mhm.
because we generally just love to do them. So essentially, you would just learn how you function properly. And the way you function properly is just doing things that you like.
Mm,
I do generally believe that life should be approached in a way that you just do things that you enjoy doing, not just
mhm,
doing things that you don't like. Nementum guides you into, first of all, figuring out who you really are and what you really want to do in life. And it helps you with executing when it comes to that. Just just knowing what you want to do in life is not enough. You also have to bring it to reality. So having a sort of map every day that gamifies life in such a beautiful way that is every day you're just going through missions and going through your own life. I think that's essentially what the Mentum is, and that's our mission, just helping people discovering their purpose and living a life aligned to it.
Has it helped you to accelerate your life goals?
100%, 100%. Now I'm living in my highest timeline. Now I'm in a podcast with you right now. So
Okay, so as you look towards scaling Nementum, what's currently the biggest bottleneck for you?
essentially reaching and finding the people that I are going global to the people that truly, truly are meant to have this app.
Okay.
Just the word of mouth thing works, but it's very limited. So getting into virality, that's something that we really want to do because once you reach virality, you are just seen by everyone. 90% of people might not like whatever, but then there's 10% that is going to like it.
Yeah,
So we just want to reach that virality that would give us that 10% of people that are generally going to love it.
perfect. And so what's been harder than you expected as you've started scaling?
Essentially, content that's itself, but it's all a matter of learning. So um, I don't think that today there's nothing that is truly really hard, honestly.
Mm.
I just think that the only thing hard is just like staying on the path and doing that every day. I think that's kind of like the
It's
only
consistency.
right. Like staying consistent might be the only hard thing. There's days I just love whatever you do, and there's days that are like, what the fuck am I doing?
Yeah,
But then there's, as of this age of time, there's truly no limitations.
yeah, absolutely. I think keeping that momentum going, keeping that consistency going, and especially with social media, keeping your face there. Do you do organic social media or do you do paid advertisements, things like that?
At the moment, I think that the only way of succeeding is doing organic social media. I think our paid
Hmm.
ads, well, they are great for certain products, but at least for us, that we are very, very niche. I mean, we are a spiritual app that brings you to your higher timeline. That's you're gonna just advertise that, right? So organic social media gives you that sort of authenticity in
Yeah.
how you communicate. So organic at the moment, it's our primary focus and our primary goal. Yeah.
Mm. I think that's the one thing I think in all of my businesses I have been very authentic, shown people my real self. I've gone to polishing productions and getting better microphones, getting better cameras, being less authentic. And it always comes back to the more authentic videos that people like and they're drawn towards. It's that consistent authenticity that always gets more engagement.
Because when you look at how we are right now, it's just like we are all day just stuck to our phones. We don't really connect that much as we used to.
Mm,
So I do believe that obviously it's not the same as connecting with someone in person. But when you do
mm,
see someone online, you generally connect with them. There's something going on in there that you see them. And if someone shows himself how he truly is, then it's just way easier for you to connect with them if they are generally meant to connect with you.
yeah. I think there's a strong narrative at the moment now that AI reduces cost and simplifies businesses. From your perspective, where does that genuinely reduce cost and where does it actually introduce more complexity?
Can you repeat the question?
Yeah. So, like, a, say you have a few different people doing the same job at work, and you introduce AI, and that will reduce the cost of having those employees. But sometimes it becomes more complex because there's having to understand the AI. That's just one example. So, where does it reduce cost for you, and where does it introduce more complexity?
I think that it reduces a lot of cost, everything that is product related, everything that is just building
Okay.
software at the
Yeah.
moment, that
Hmm.
100% cost, cut a lot of costs of just essentially hiring people,
Hmm.
hiring developers. That's something that nowadays you generally don't need. Maybe you would need one that is going to handle everything and that's it. And that's not only money that you're saving, but it's also a lot of time that you're saving. Because now
Hmm.
AI not only is great at executing it, but it's also extremely faster than one developer.
Yeah.
Way more faster than one developer. So in that way, you are saving a lot of money and saving a lot of time. But it does brings a layer of complexity to not everyone can handle at the moment building a complicated system with AI only. There's need to be some planning about the architecture of how it works on the background, how everything works in the
Hmm.
background. And that brings a level of complexity, like just not just building with AI, but truly understanding how AI perform best.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. What do you think most people sort of fundamentally misunderstand about using it effectively? There is a lot of fear. I speak to people and they're saying, no, it's not for me. It's too fast. It's maybe similar in the way that it responds to
I,
questions.
I think that it can be a little overwhelming for people sometimes.
Mm,
Because it's generally just a lot of power. It's generally just a lot of yeah, it's a lot of energy concentrating on one thing, so people can get a little scared about it when they see just how amazingly it performs.
mm,
But I do believe that, for example, AI is not good at writing, for example, right? Like when you ask AI to write you a book or write you an article, you would look at it and it's like, oh, maybe this is not great. So maybe I see that people has a lot of automated when it comes to content creation, when it comes to articles being written, and that yeah, AI can be helpful sometimes, but it's not ideal.
yeah, I think it works well based on the information you feed it sometimes, but generally, do you feel that it's not very efficient for creative tasks?
No, not at all. Not at all. I think that creative tasks should be 100% handled by humans. It might know structurally how to make a book. It might know structurally how to design an image,
Hmm.
but it's not going to paint you a picture, right? However, I do believe that creativity is not something that every human has. I think that there's humans that have more creativity and people that has less creativity.
Hmm.
So
Yeah.
the ultimate skill set is going to be that creativity.
So here's a big one. If someone is in the early journeys of integrating AI into their business, what should they focus on first? Should they focus on and what should they ignore completely?
Mm, it depends a lot on the stage of the business as well. But if
Hmm.
someone tries to implement AI and if they already have a working business, don't limit it. Like, don't be afraid of experimenting new things with AI. You then later on in the journey, you're gonna figure it out and you're gonna find out what works and what doesn't. But don't limit AI. Don't think that, oh wait, I'm sure AI will not be able to do this. Use it as much as you can in everything that you seem that it might be helpful. That's the number
Hmm.
one thing that you should do. Use it in absolutely everything. And then later on you'll figure out by yourself where it works best and where you works best.
Do you think it's good at responding to inquiries and trying to get people booked in and things like that?
I think it's
Or
great.
do you think when great, do some people still need that human touch though, or do you feel like it's age dependent?
Yeah, in a way. I mean, I'm 24 years old, right? I connect with a lot of Gen Zs. Um, the if it's a professional environment, I think at yes, 100% you can use AI because the professional environment is very superficial, right? Like you don't really want to go deep into
Mm.
yes, I don't know. There's an imbalance. You don't really want to go deep into anything that is relationships related if you're like in a professional environment. So
Yeah, yeah,
100%
absolutely.
you can use it and you can keep it that way. You can keep it AI reading, AI superficial
Hmm.
there. But then if you're generally just trying to connect with someone and generally developing any sort of relationship, even in work, then you have to be you. There's no other chance.
Perfect. So if you zoom out for a moment, what does success look like for you with Nementum over the next few years?
Being the person that has the capacity of holding 10 million users. I think I'm becoming the founder that has the level of certainty and the level of knowledge and everything that's required to have an app that has that many users. I think that that's what I'm focusing on becoming. Because I know that essentially life, it's who you are, right? It's not life happening to you, it's you happening and you creating your own reality. So if I become if I am capable of having an app that has 10 million users, by default, I'm going to have an app that has 10 million users.
You're going to take the world and have everyone knowing what direction they're going
Well,
in.
well, I mean, I think there's no other option, right? Because if you want to be a nurse, then I think that is going to take like some time, and then you're going to be automated, you're going to be AI replaced. So it seems like we have no other option but to work in our life purpose, right?
Absolutely. Thomas, thank you so much. This has been a really valuable conversation. And I think particularly around the reality of using AI in a way that actually improves thinking and execution rather than adding to the noise. It's been a real pleasure speaking with you. For anyone who would like, I guess, to learn more about Nementum or connect with you, where's the best place for them to go?
If you want to learn more about Nementum, you can find us at nementum.com. Or you can find me on LinkedIn, Thomas Winkler. I'm very easy to find. You can just Google it and I'm going to appear. And yeah, feel free to discover your life purpose and start executing it. Download our app.
Perfect. So, um, to anyone listening, if you've enjoyed this episode, please subscribe and share the podcast so we can continue bringing thoughtful conversations with founders and operators shaping the future of business and health. So, thank you so much for listening to Aesthetic Ambition. I really appreciate it.